Hi and welcome to Heat Software's short video series on endpoint security. I'm Rob Kelsall and I'm joined by my colleague Rene Gonzalez, and in this session we're going to be covering application control. Now Rene, in the previous session we spoke about audit mode. Before moving to lockdown, customers might be concerned around the problem of updating that whitelist on a continual basis. Could you maybe talk about some of the trust capabilities that are available and how that will ease whitelist maintenance going forwards?
Yeah, absolutely. So before you go into lockdown mode, first in audit mode, that's where you're going to start to create and design your trust policies. And these trust policies is designed to help automate the maintenance of a whitelist. So over here within the product, what I'm going to do is simply go to Manage and then go to Application Control Policies. And then basically here is where your centralized policies are going to be maintained. Now basically what you want to do here is under Trusted Change. Now these policy types allow IT administrators to automate that maintenance of the whitelist, because in an environment where change constantly happens, let's pick on desktops, IT needs to identify all the changes that are being made while in audit mode so we can create trust policies. So when the next machine requests that same change, it's already whitelisted and approved by IT via one of our policies. So what I'm going to do is quickly walk through some of our policy types, which once again, the goal is to help maintenance and automate that whitelist. So Trusted Publisher, think about Trusted Publisher as trusting your software manufacturer. For example, trusting Heat Software, trusting Microsoft, trusting WebEx. A legitimate software vendor is going to sign their binaries with their software signing certificate. So if you trust that vendor, you can also create a policy to trust that signing certificate. And what that does is any file that is signed by that software signing certificate that you trusted is automatically allowed to execute. Now think about using Trusted Publisher for WebEx applications, where WebEx will once a week release a new ActiveX control to update the WebEx client. If you want to automate that, you would create a Trusted Publisher policy for WebEx. Therefore, any changes that WebEx makes will be automatically added to the whitelist. The second one is Trusted Path. Now think about Trusted Path as trusting a certain file structure. For example, what I'm going to demonstrate here is by looking at the file system, and by the way, Trusted Path is very useful for locking down machines that are used by developers. Also, it's useful for using Trusted Path to allow antivirus technologies to execute and update itself, because antivirus technologies update a new definition file and they like to update their own antivirus engine. So if you trust that behavior, you would leverage Trusted Path, and basically you would say anything in this Cisco directory, as an example, will be allowed to execute. Okay. Now, I recommend use caution when using Trusted Path. Only use it when there's no policies that allows that software application to execute. For example, you don't want to add an antivirus engine as a trusted updater, because that means any file that is scanned by the antivirus engine is automatically added to the whitelist, and we don't want to do that. Local authorization. Local authorization is all about trusting your help desk staff, as an example, trusting end users, trusting administrators. Any user or any group of users that you trust, assign a local authorization policy. Therefore, if a technician needs to install their troubleshooting tools, they'll be allowed to download and install and use that troubleshooting tool with no disruption from application control. Another key benefit of local authorization is that app will only be authorized for that user who installed that piece of software. Okay? And then finally, Trusted Updater, which is the most important one, and I leverage heavily. Think about Trusted Updater as trusting your software distribution tools. Any piece of software that's making changes to the system, you're going to create a Trusted Updater policy. Another example is trusting Windows Update, trusting our own built-in patch management system, which we do that automatically, trusting GPO deployments, remember, or even trusting built-in third-party updaters like the Firefox updater or the Chrome updater, which we don't recommend because Heat software can keep those products up to date for you. But any software distribution tool that you trust, you're going to create a trusted updater policy. So by leveraging all these policies and assigning these policies to your group of machines or single computers, the combination of all these policies allow IT to automate the maintenance of that whitelist. Therefore, when you go into lockdown mode, all the changes that are being made is automatically approved and added to the whitelist, and any changes that are not approved will get blocked by application control.
Sounds good, and I can certainly see how that ties into the patch capability that we were talking about in the overview. So taking that first step and gaining control of the patch management is certainly going to make this process a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks Rene, and thank you very much for joining us on this session. We'll see you on the next one.